I would have been very surprised, or in fact worried, if the outcome of the game was different from what it was. I'm talking about Nigeria, Sierra Leone. It was different. I mean, even if it was a draw, I would have been very surprised, no, disturbed. Why? Because I would think Nigeria has hired a scrub, somebody who has deceived us, 419. Because after Mexico and Ecuador, the next stage is competition mode. And CAF, God bless you guys, you gave us a good group that could help us test our abilities. Guinea-Bissau, Sao Tome, Sierra Leone. These are teams that help you qualify, prepare you competition mode, if you have a good system. And from what we saw in the match, Jose Peseiro is a coach that likes switching formations. He likes testing out things, which is impressive if you know what you're doing. Like, take for instance, in the first half, where he used the 4-2-4 formation, playing without a DM. Very surprising, a very arrogant formation, albeit an attacking formation, but arrogant all the same. And we nearly paid dearly for it, because the one attack in the early stages of the game that the Sierra Leoneans had, they got a goal, which was also shows us that we have a weak defense, the central defense especially. Calvin Bassey was beaten, there was no cover at all. But however, something worked in our favor. Classic inexperienced coaching mistake from the coach of Sierra Leone. After scoring the goal, he was the one playing the 4-3-3 formation. He had more guys in the midfield, and he could very well really disturb our midfield creativity, but he chose to sit back because they were playing away. Classic mistake. And he paid dearly for it, because it will be Anaribo took control of the midfield and then brought in especially Moses Simon into play, the 1-2s, and then they got the goals. And then one thing I must commend Peseiro for is the fact that he made those changes in the second half and switched his formation to a 4-3-3 formation. Like, take for instance, in the first half, where he used the 4-2-4 formation, playing without a DM. The Sierra Leoneans were playing a 4-3-3 formation, which means that they could flood the midfield and overwhelm our midfielders and then expose our defense. But they tried it in the early games, and then they made the classic young coach mistake. They went back. Good coach would have pressed the issue because he had more players in the midfield and forced the change. That, I think, for him, that's why I said we now know that we have a thinking coach. The changes were made in the second half. They had a measure of control of the game until towards the end of the game, where they started tiring out. And then, of course, the bad pitch. That we will talk about. The bad pitch. Something we really need to address. But anyhow, I'm glad we have a thinking coach who knows how to use his squad properly. And then, of course, who knows how to make use of the personnel in his squad. He still loves the runners, but I hope he will start using the guys with guile this time around.